Hello and all, welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. For my very first guest is this incredible actor known by the name of Logan. He is reprising his role as the Silver Chrono Ranger, Time Force Ranger in Power Rangers Unworthy. He appeared in episode 3 at the very ending, and he's going to be in episode 4. So I'm about to give Logan an ad into the live now to have a chat with Logan about his role as the Silver Chrono Ranger. So here we go. Logan, what's up?
Hey Jacob, how are you, man?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
Good, good. Can you hear me on your end?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Perfect, perfect. Glad to be here, man. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So to people that don't know who you are, if you can introduce yourself and explain a bit about what you do as a person, and then we'll go right into the question.
Sure. So my name is Logan Raposo. I am a Boston-based professional actor. I do that full-time for my career. I've been acting professionally for about 5 years now in total. I trained at my college under a theater degree. So acting is it's a very big passion of mine. It's something that I'm so proud that I can do as my career.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the question now.
Sure.
So for my very first question, so with being the Chrono Ranger, Time Force Ranger Silver, you're in this incredible fan series called Power Rangers Unworthy. What's the experience like when you appeared in episode 3 as the Chrono Ranger, and what were you feeling at the time when you got casted in the role?
So when I first started filming episode 3, it was so interesting, man, because it's so hard to like describe like what I was feeling. There was nerves, there was excitement. It was like all this like ball of emotions, really. Like when I was first stepping foot in there, when I first got in the suit. When I got cast originally, it was interesting because we had a fitting, and to those who don't know, I actually auditioned to be on Beast Morphers. And I made it to callback. Obviously, didn't get it, but that's okay. When I was there, what happened was I was too tall right away, so that automatically disqualified me. So they said you have to do a fitting. I was so nervous going to New York. I was like, oh man, I hope I fit in this suit. I don't want to like rip it there. But you could ask anyone who was on that day. It was Jenna and Jordan. I actually started hyperventilating. I was so excited when the suit fit completely. It was so amazing, man.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So with the Chrono Ranger, so what next would you want to see in episode 4 with the Chrono Ranger? If you could have any memorable moment with the Chrono Ranger.
Oh man, that's a good question. I was thinking about this when you asked me this question, when you sent me this question. I was thinking if I had like one memorable moment, it would honestly be to work with my childhood hero, like the Magna Defender. That would be like the be all end all for me. Like that would be the coolest moment. We've been filming episode 4, so I can confirm he's not going to be there, but it would be so cool if he did. But the one thing I really hope for with episode 4 is that people who watch this episode who are fans of Chrono Ranger, they can see a different side of him prior to becoming Chrono Ranger. I think that's like my biggest hope for other viewers who watch this.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So with the whole power being on Power Rangers Unworthy, what were your emotions like when you were on set of Power Rangers Unworthy?
It's oh man, it's so it's a lot of like it's like a childhood dream come true. That's the best way I could describe it. It's like you see the episodes like on TV and everything, you watch them like do it, and then when you're like a part of it, you get to learn the little nuances and all the things that make a Power Rangers series work. It's really interesting, and it's like such a learning experience for me because stuff that I'm skilled at, I realize sometimes doesn't cut it as a Power Ranger because it's such a different world compared to, say, other action roles or other acting projects. So it's just been a great learning experience on the set, and it's just been a lot of fun.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So if your Chrono Ranger could be like team leader of any 5 Ranger team members, who would you want on your team and why?
Hmm. You know, I'm gonna throw a curveball to some people. I would like Lightspeed Rescue because I absolutely love just everything about them. And I think they would fit so well with Chrono Ranger, honestly, just like being a police force, but from like the present day. And I think like he would be a good mentor to them, and that'd just be so cool. Plus moments with the Titanium Ranger, like Silver and Silver, that would just be insane, man. I would absolutely love that if that could ever be a possibility.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So why do you recommend Power Rangers Unworthy for anyone that hasn't seen Power Rangers Unworthy yet?
What I recommend starting the series from the beginning and watching it entirely through. Some people will jump in to say like episode 3, and that's totally fine because they can always go back. But I feel like it's so important that you really see like the beginning, watch it all the way through, and watch the mini episodes as well because everything is connected to the overarching story. And I feel like it's so important that you grasp everything to truly understand it. That's my recommendation for anyone who watches Power Rangers Unworthy.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. So who would be like what would be your all-time favorite season of Power Rangers and why?
Lost Galaxy, man. That was my first season when I saw. Well, I did start it in space, but my first episode I watched was Countdown to Destruction. So I just saw the end of like the entire Zordon era, and I was like, "Oh man, is it over?" And then I saw Lost Galaxy, and I saw Alpha. I saw all the ships and everything. I was like, "Oh, this is so cool still." And my favorite part about it was I very much related to Leo and Mike Corbett. They are my two favorite Rangers of all time. Mike more, but Leo a close second. I related more to Leo being the underdog and the character who doubts himself. That's what I really liked about Lost Galaxy was that it was realistic. You're not just going to have someone who is an absolute badass right from the start, who can fight, who can do everything great. You have someone who doubts themselves and has to really earn the title of the leader. And that's what I loved about Lost Galaxy.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If what Ranger villain would be your all-time favorite?
Zenaku from Wild Force. I love Zenaku with every fiber of my being. I think out of every ranger, he was one of the few rangers who did things on his own terms, but he still had honor behind them. He wasn't truly evil, he was more confused, and I really just enjoyed that aspect of the character, like the evolution from I hate you guys to I'm confused to possessed by Master Org to being free and then becoming good at the end. I think that is a very great storyline that they told with that character.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. If you could appear in any TV or movie franchise, what would it be and why?
Lord of the Rings, 100%, man. I have been a Lord of the Rings fan since 2001 when I watched Fellowship of the Ring when I was 6 years old or 7. I just love the world with it. I love the world they've created. Many of my skill sets, longsword, bow and arrows, European sword combat, could relate to that very well and could transfer to that. I'm actually learning how to do horseback riding in the off chance that I could submit for the series. So it's a series that I hold very near and dear to my heart. And if I had the opportunity just even to be an extra on it, man, that would be the greatest feeling in the world.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. Who inspired you as a person to get into acting in the first place?
I was so excited for this question. The two people who inspired me to become an actor were Bulk and Skull.
Yes.
So many people, I love telling this story. I actually watched a panel of Bulk and Skull out of character in 2017 where they talked about like their acting techniques. And I was so interested in that because I was like, oh, I never really thought of it like that. And the part that really sold me the most was just all the fun stories they had because they weren't like major actors, but they had so much fun. And I was just listening to this. I'm hearing their laughs. I'm hearing like just I was laughing. I was like smiling ear to ear, and I'm just like, I want to do this. Like this seems so much fun. So they absolutely made an impact on my life. On my wall here, I actually have, I think it's right there, a
Oh,
picture of
that's
them that I met at Rhode Island
so,
Comic Con.
that's so
They're
cool.
my two they're my two favorite people. I one of the few Rangers I will always characters I will always love to the end of days.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What have you learned about yourself as a person during COVID this year?
So with the COVID pandemic, the one thing I feel like I really had to learn this year was patience. Because it's very difficult as, say, an actor, because we're always like waiting for that next opportunity. We're always waiting for that phone call to ring or that email to come in. And with everything slowing down, it's really important that we take time, excuse me, to be patient and to really just relax, if that's a big thing. Because when you really think about it, this isn't going to happen. I don't see this happening again in our lifetime. So like a lot of people actually had like a break for the first time in their lives. And I think that was so important for us because we had opportunities to learn what we need to do. And I learned myself that I definitely need to work on my patience. That's my biggest thing.
Awesome. So on to my very next question. What are the positives and negatives into the acting industry, and how do you get through those negatives as a person?
Good question. So positives right away for me as an actor was I love is I can make my own schedule. That's the most beautiful thing for me. Second, I get to create with my art form, which I absolutely love to death. It's the greatest feeling in the world. Third, I would say you make so many good memories. Like it's so much fun, like looking back and like sharing like war stories with fellow actors or interviewers and just like laughing and being able to like smile and be like, that was a good memory I had. That really made me happy during that time. When it comes to negatives about the acting industry, I would say there's some people who you run into who maybe have some ill intentions. I ran into a few people of those back in like 2018. So they are out there. Another thing that could be considered a negative about the acting world is it's a competition. It's really hard to get what you want sometimes. And I always tell people that you just got to keep going. And they question it sometimes, like, what do you mean? I'm like, you just got to keep moving and you got to keep like chugging through all this because it will come in time. That's why I tell people every time I can that just patience is your greatest virtue as an actor.
Awesome. So on to my very last question. So what's next for you, like after COVID, like wise with projects?
So I actually have a couple projects I'm filming in North Carolina. I see my friend Kenny on the live stream right now. I'm going to be working with him down in North Carolina. I do have a couple ongoing voiceover projects with some series. So I have those going on as well. I have a couple projects in New England. Two of them being Dogs of War, which is a series about a soldier who comes back and becomes infected and becomes like this monster. Another one is this feature film called Liberatus. It's with Beantown Productions. They actually taught me how to use guns back in 2018. I'm still hoping we can film that this year coming up. So it's kind of in limbo right now. And lastly, I'm in a video game series called Pixelated, which is an Amazon Prime series. Super fun. I'm so excited to film episode 2. We're filming in June, so that's gonna be great. But that's my projects, man. That's what I'm up to right now.
Awesome. Well, can I just say thank you so much, Logan, for making an appearance on my show. It means so much. To people that haven't seen any of Logan's projects or seen Logan as the incredible Chrono Ranger in Power Rangers Unworthy Episode 3 and coming to Episode 4 soon, definitely go check out Logan in Power Rangers Unworthy. He's truly incredible and one inspirational actor. So definitely go support Logan. Any last final thoughts or anything that you'd like to say to people?
Absolutely. I would like to talk to all the viewers just candidly, real quick. And I know this year has been very hard for a lot of people. We've experienced a lot as a whole throughout the world. And I know that's been hard to deal with, but we're making it through it every day. And that's the big thing is that we're all going to make it through this because we all have to stick together. And at the end of the day, all your dreams are attainable. It's going to take hard work. It's going to take dedication. but I know you can achieve your dreams.